Welcome to the Forever Better Academy podcast, where you will be given the principles, tools, and techniques to reach the next stage on your journey of self-mastery. Who could you become? I'm your host, Wade Vincent. Hey guys, welcome back. We've made it to episode 10. This is awesome. I'm having a lot of fun. I have a really cool episode and concept for you guys today. So today I wanted to speak to you guys about the one true human superpower. Now, if you had to guess, I'd be interested to sort of see what people think, what your idea would be, what you would sort of say is the superpower. I think I've spent a little bit of time thinking about this and really trying to distill it down, and I would definitely have to say in my opinion, the one true superpower that humans possess is imagination. Now, imagination is the foundation for everything. Everything in our world, in our society, what we see on a daily basis, even just the way we're wired, how we think. It's I would say it's the thing that really sets us apart from other animals, is that ability to dream and imagine. Now, maybe there are some other animals out there that do have those have levels of imagination. Be interesting concept to dive into, but today we're talking about the human superpower, so let's run with that. So basically the reason I want to talk about this being a superpower is because imagination is the thing that's going to drive you further than anything else in your repertoire, in your arsenal of tools that are going to move you forward on your journey of self-mastery. Everything stems from that. It's all about how creative you can be, what ideas you have, the concepts and things that you can dream up that can change your life and change the life of others. So if you think about anything at all that you can imagine can become reality. Absolutely anything. It's the most incredible superpower. I can't sort of stress that enough. If you really dive into it and think about how fascinating and amazing that is, that anything you can imagine can become real. It's mind-blowing. If you sometimes take that moment to sort of just step back and look at the world around you, even just staring around the room, look at the things that are around you now. Like if you are watching this now on YouTube, you're either watching this on your device or on a laptop or maybe a desktop computer. Someone thought that up. You know, if it's something that I think it's easy for us to take for granted because there's such an abundance of amazing examples of people's imagination all around us. Something as simple as you could say like a couch. Someone dreamt that up, you know? How can I make something that we can rest on or sit on that's super comfortable and makes, you feel good? This is something simple, but it's a wonderful thing, that you have that capacity to dream up anything that you desire. Like if you look at, let's say, an example that gets used a lot is Henry Ford, right? So developing cars. If you think about pre-cars where people had like a horse and carriage, and I guess you could say that a car is an extension of that, in that Henry Ford imagined how to improve upon that cart and change it into something new or innovate it. But if you really, we take this for granted now because we're so familiar with cars everywhere. If you really think about how incredible that someone imagined a vehicle that we sit in, that's made out of minerals and metals that are pulled from the dirt, from Earth, and built into almost, I guess, a capsule, a cabin, and it has an engine inside and we can control that and move us faster than a human can actually physically move to go anywhere we want to go. That's insane. You know, it's incredible to think about how much that has changed society. Something like just someone's idea has revolutionized the world. And we could look at like another example being smartphones. You know, like Steve Jobs with the iPhone. I remember the first time I saw an iPhone, and now again you take this stuff for granted because it's the norm, it's everyday, it's common now, it's just ingrained in our society and a part of our lives. I remember my friend Max. We were at a dinner at I think it was the Kangaroo Point Pineapple Hotel, and he had the first iPhone, and I remember asking him about it and him showing me. And the first time I saw someone swiping and being able to manipulate pictures by pinching and dragging and drop, that blew my mind. I thought it was the coolest thing to be able to, you're familiar with computers, but never to that extent. And then to have this device where you can control the image on the screen, it was brilliant. And that was purely because someone had the audacity to dream big and use that human superpower, that imagination, to shape the world. You know, I think that was I think Apple's sort of catchphrase slogan. I'm not sure if it still is. If it is, guys, let me know in the comments. Think differently. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You know, you look at like the internet itself. Yeah, I'm a millennial. I grew up. The internet sort of kicked in in the sense of it was accessible for me and my family and sort of my generation in that sort of late 1990s. So right in that high school period for me. Yeah, incredible. Game changer. I remember the first time jumping on and talking to people and making friends all around the world. People and their imagination, their ideas, things that I would never be exposed to before, suddenly, because someone dreamed big, created something that enabled my life to change and your life to change and us to interact and shape and change society. It's incredible. And all of that comes from someone's mind. A collection of ideas built upon ideas from people before. I think it was Isaac Newton that said, if I'm great, it's because I stand on the shoulders of giants. I think that's a beautiful way to sum up the importance of progress in society by offering what you can bring to the table for future generations, and then those future generations acknowledging what you've built before them, so that they can grow and build upon that too. And that's why humanity has excelled in such an incredible way. And I think right now the one of the things that's so important to stress, like, there's always going to be things that are problems in the world. There are always going to be problems that need solutions. And as long as humans are capable of imagining and dreaming, we will always be able to have a solution for any problem we're faced with. Absolutely any problem. Can you imagine the thought that nothing in your world is really a problem? If you really distill it and think and compress it down, nothing in your world is a problem because you're capable of finding a solution thanks to your imagination. Your human superpower. What an incredible thing, and what a freeing notion, the concept that nothing in your world will stay a problem too long because of the ability for you to find a solution through your imagination. Isn't that, it's insane, it's brilliant. If you really internalize that, think about that thought, embody that, and your whole world shifts. Nothing is too big, because if and then the beauty of it is, as I said, you can take from other people's imagination and use their ideas and concepts to help spark that insight and that thought and wonder inside you, and then from there you can build. You don't have to start from scratch. You can have, these interactions again. I think, and that's why I think one of the most powerful things, and I know I'm stating the obvious here with the internet being, revolutionary, but just if you imagine how far forward that has moved society and humanity by connecting us all together in a way where we can interact with each other in real time and see and learn and understand each other better and grow together and use our collective imagination to improve and better the world for the next generations to come. Truly, beautifully, a human superpower. We are all superheroes. Why do we think that those superhero stories, comic books, appeal to us so much? If you've ever read Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey, these stories, this is inbuilt and it's ingrained in our DNA. We are all superhuman. We have superpowers. We're superheroes. We just tap into that power that gives us the ability to dream up and create anything we can possibly imagine. It's limitless. Now, another thing with rockets. The fact that someone, not just someone, I guarantee every one of us has looked up to the night sky and looked at the stars and wondered, what's out there? How do I get up there? Just that adventurer, that spirit inside you that makes you say, I want to push, I want to see, I want to dream and see what I can achieve. Imagine if no one had imagination. I just realized how funny that sounds. Imagine if no one has imagination. Paradox there. Beautiful. Can you fathom the thought, if we didn't dream and imagine, we'd probably still be like roaming plains looking for food, just wandering around, existing. The notion that someone invented a rocket, that takes us off this planet and up into the heavens. It's incredible to really think about that. And most of these innovations, these are excelling like exponentially. And as I said, with the internet and us connecting and combining our collective thoughts and imagination and knowledge base, how much faster is that going to grow again? Like all these innovations, just the things I'm talking about in the last few hundred years, like in the blink of the sort of infinite time and space. That's nothing in a couple of hundred years. Imagine what's going to be 1,000 years from now. Even things like, they're currently doing gene sequencing now, sequencing the human genome, so we can better understand what our individual and specific health needs are, and how best to treat humans and live a better quality of life because someone was bold enough to imagine and dream big. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, I think there's a good time too to stress this. It's very, very important if you really think through this. You can't take this superpower lightly. To throw out the sort of the Spider-Man analogy. With great power comes great responsibility. That's true. That's so powerful. If you beyond it just becoming a pop culture reference, because you have that ability and that imagination, and you can create anything that you dream of. It's a special power that you have to learn to harness and utilize to your best advantage, because your thoughts, everything starts as a thought. Everything is your imagination. It all stems from inside, and there's no bias. Your mind doesn't sort of say this is a good thought, this is a bad thought. That's you learning from social structure and being taught what the boundaries of society and reality are. But if you think up something positive or negative, either one can become your reality. It's vital to understand how special and important this superpower of imagination is and can be, and to not take that superpower lightly. You have to use it in a way that's positive, that's uplifting, that's going to change the world and shape humanity for the better. Because if you start getting darker thoughts in your head or negative emotions, and you start, this is where we have problems in society where people shoot up schools and end up hurting other people because they're not using that superpower in the right way. They're not using it to its full potential. And this is again why I stress it needs to be remembered that even when you feel at your darkest, in those times where you feel so negative and overwhelmed with dark emotions, again, you have imagination that can create a solution for any problem. You have to remember that, okay? So don't focus on the problem. Focus on the solution. That's what drives the imagination. That's what fuels that imagination to create, because that's how we're wired. Always focus on the solution. If you look for problems, you'll find problems. If you look for solutions, you'll find solutions. It's so important to use this superpower that we've been gifted with correctly. I'm not a religious person. I have spiritual beliefs. I don't necessarily subscribe to the concept of naming a religion something that man created, that takes away from the beauty and the power of what God or the universe really is. But it's important to remember, when religions do talk about, the spirit of God is within us, or we were modeled in her image. That's that imagination, that power to create. That's what I believe we're talking about here. The ability to create anything you dreamed of. That's the spirit of God within you. Now, I don't mean to get so heavy, but it's just, I'm riffing with you guys, and I like to keep this real and tell you things and share, as it comes to mind and what we're going to discuss and what we're going through and talking about. Now, another thing I think that's key to sort of stress here or remember is this power lives within all of us. This is not a special superpower that only some people possess, or some people are blessed to have. What it really comes down to is some people have a greater imagination than others because they practice. They take time to imagine. That's why play is so vital and important to humans, because there's been countless studies done that one of the most effective ways for humans to learn is through play, through song, through music, all the things that help inspire and grow and build our imagination to its fullest capacity. So if you're sitting, watching or listening to this and thinking, this doesn't apply to me, I don't really have big ideas or great ideas, it doesn't mean that you can't. You just need to harness that ability, your greatest human superpower, and practice. Taking that time. It's all about utilizing, the gifts that you have, building upon those strengths. Everything, starts at the beginning. You're not, some people, again, this is tying into us all being connected. Everything that you see around you is inspiration for more imagination and more thoughts. This is why I've spoken earlier podcasts about the importance of momentum, because this momentum breeds momentum and sparks thoughts and new ideas, because you're exposing yourself to different things, different people, different ideas and concepts. It is vital to always keep putting more and more experiences and ingredients into your mind so that you can take those things and mix them all together and create new things. You know, like it, it's as I said, I'm already jumping ahead of my points. Everything, you know, you see around you, it started as someone's imagination. Every little thing. Someone saw a small problem or something that you know frustrated them and needed to change, or they saw it and said, hey, I know a better way to do that. And from doing those things and improving on those things, they've satisfied themselves because they've solved their problem, and not only that, they've solved the problem for others. And when you do that, then that creates opportunity for you. It's creating, you know, you can create a business, a very, you know, successful life for your family, and supporting other people as well. Everything comes back to that imagination. How big can you think? How much can you come up with and dream and express? You know, and what kind of things can you take on board and put them together and make the next thing that's going to benefit others as well. There's no loss in taking that time to play and imagine. It nourishes your soul. These are the things that remind you that you're human, the things that feel good and just fulfill every ounce of your being. You know, if you think about a time that you've sat and pondered and just thought and let your mind run wild and come up with crazy ideas. Now, if you reflect on that, did you ever feel bad in doing that? Did it ever make you feel miserable or feel sad about things? You know, this is something, this superpower can change your life. It can change the world. It can change the lives of others. It can do more than you even fathom what's possible with this superpower. What an incredible gift to be given. The ability to imagine, to create, to inspire, to change. All of this is all within us, all within inside every single one of us. No one misses out on this. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, from a disadvantaged country or a family that doesn't have a lot to give you or to offer. You have this power inside you, no matter who you are or where you are, where you're from or where you're going. It's the greatest superpower that we possess. I'm excited just thinking about it, just talking about it with you guys. It's phenomenal. Now, and on top of that, you know, imagination is infinite. The concept itself, it defies, you know, being a finite thing. It's the most incredibly, it's open-ended, that power. There's no cap on what you can believe or imagine or create or achieve. Sometimes I feel like it's important just to sort of sit back and absorb that and ponder on that thought. Take that moment. After you finish watching this or listening to this podcast, sit and think through what that actually means and how that can shape and change your life from this day forward. Maybe you're already an exceptional person in imagining and creating, and maybe you're just starting. But you think about, my life from today is different because I now realize I can create a solution for any problem I face. Incredible. You know, like if you, and it's something too, like I want to share with you guys that you've got to practice. As I said earlier, you know, you can't expect to get good at anything without putting in that effort and putting in the work to grow that ability. You know, imagination is just like anything else. Your mind, it's a muscle that you have to exercise. You know, sometimes actually another podcast I've mentioned in the past that I really, really like to listen to is the James Altucher show. And one of James's ideas that I took and run with for a little while was basically carrying a pad around with you and writing down 10 ideas a day. He talks about, you know, this idea muscle and just anything. It doesn't have to necessarily make sense, or you don't need to apply them. It's just teaching yourself to come up with these concepts and these ideas. And I found the more I did this, I just write down ideas, just random concepts, thoughts for inventions, thoughts for ways to improve things, just thoughts and musings that I was having during the day. And I saw the impact and the difference, because I was deliberately taking the time and focus to improve that aspect. Now, imagination's no different to anything else. If you're practicing, improving upon your relationships, or you're practicing improving your financial knowledge and understanding of how money works, or let's say your health. You're getting up and you're exercising every day, and you're taking that time to improve that aspect of your life. Imagination is foundation for everything else. So it's important not to neglect that, and take time to focus and grow that ability. And one of the best ways that I've found to do that is basically disconnect from devices. Give yourself time. If you're constantly on devices, scrolling, infinite scrolling, looking what's next, you're always looking for stimulus, and you're not giving your brain any time to absorb all that stimulus, put all the pieces together, and let it sort of marinate and immerse yourself in that, so that you can create those new ideas. This is probably the first time in the history of humanity where you can keep yourself entertained 24/7. It's crazy. It doesn't mean that you should just because you can. So it's sometimes vital to have that sort of digital detox, if you will, and step back from all that interaction and stimulus, as I said, and just take the time to let your mind wander. It's one of the greatest gifts that you will be given. And if you think about all the inventions and ideas and innovations that have changed the world, if you read biographies of great men and women that have impacted society and changed things for the better for us, you'll read stories of them taking walks and pondering, sitting in a garden, just taking that time out. Because if you don't allow your mind rest time and time to make sense of everything, you're not allowing yourself time to utilize that superpower of imagination. It's so vital. You need to step back, take those moments, and you'll feel nourished and replenished for it. It's important, like if you think about a good example of this is monks, like sitting and meditating. This is why people talk about the importance of meditation. It's been for countless generations. It's a timeless principle. The importance and the need to quiet our mind so we can let it come up with new concepts, slow it down, give it that rest time so we can come back stronger and create new things. So that's one of the keys here, I think, is just really stepping out of that stimulus for a while and giving yourself time to ponder. So I've had a great time today talking with you guys about the greatest human superpower. I want you to take this, as I said, after you listen to the podcast, if you've got the ability to sit and just quietly reflect on what I've discussed, and then think about, what you want to create. What are the things, what are the problems now that you know that you can solve, and just with a little bit of time to think. What's your imagination going to give you? What are you going to create next? Share this stuff with me. I want to know. Tell me in the comments, leave a comment on the video. Send me an email, shoot me a message on all social platforms, Forever Better Academy. I want to know. Tell me what is the next thing you're going to create with your amazing human superpower. I'm so excited I can't even speak. So I really hope that this has given you guys some something to think about, and enjoy these lessons that I'm sharing with you. And as always, who could you become? This is Wade Vincent Forever Better Academy. I want you guys to do and live and achieve and excel with the best life that you can live and have, and share that with others. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. And if you're enjoying this, please remember, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube videos, the channel, click notifications so that every time a new video is released that you get notified of it. And as always, I wish you guys well, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks for being here. See you later, guys.